Game console repairs. In this video I'll be showing how to perform reset glitch modification on XBOX360 Slim console. These are the tools required in order to complete the whole operation. You need NAND-X. NAND-X must be in version 3 code. If it's not a version 3 code, here are a few of the options. You can either use Team-Xecuter USB to NAND-X cable, or you can use a combination of CK3i and a CK3i to NAND-X cable in order to update your NAND-X to V3 code. We have a few YouTube videos in our channel, so if you don't know how to perform or how to update your NAND-X to V3, please watch those videos. Next, in order to perform the soldering, either you can use direct solder method, so you can directly solder your NAND-X wire to your motherboard, or you can use Team-Xecuter supplied QSB quick solder boards. In this video we'll be using direct solder method, so we'll simply cut the NAND-X wire and solder directly onto the motherboard. Next, we'll be using Xecuter CR3 Lite tool to perform the reset glitch. In order to flash the timing file onto your CoolRunner CR3 Lite, these are the few options. You can either use NAND-X to CoolRunner cable, or you can use LPT JTAG cable. Game console repairs. These are the tools required in order to open up your XBOX360 Slim console. These are the actual tools needed, and these are the available toolkits in the market. You need Torx T10 screw bit or screwdriver, Torx T8 screw bit or screwdriver, small Phillips flathead screwdriver, or you can use microturn precision screwdriver. The tool we'll be using from XEM, or it's available in an X tool set as well, is this. It has a pointy end. This helps in opening up the fan grills on both the side of the console, so we'll be using this. Xecuter Unlock Kit version 3 opens up both the fat and slim console, so you can purchase that. You can either have X tool or XEM X8 unlock tool set, so these help in opening up the slim console as well, so you can grab any of these two. Another very handy thing to have is this Access Pro Toolkit version 4. This is specially designed to open up the gaming consoles and pretty much all the major cell phones. So it opens up pretty much all these gaming consoles, so it's a one-time purchase, and if you do a lot of consoles, this is the toolkit you need. If this is your first time opening up your console, best is to use a marker and mark down where all the screws go. And you can either use small resealable plastic bags and put them in small plastic bags and mark it down, or the handy thing is this small utility component storage box. It has these small compartments where you can put all these screws. XBOX360 Slim has a lot of small little screws, so best is to keep them in these apartments, and when you try to put your console back together, it will make the job a lot easier. Just to quickly go through a few of the changes that have been added in the latest version of CoolRunner CR3 Lite. First, these are the contents of the package. You get a slim and a fat cable set and your actual CoolRunner device. So let's move this aside and let's just go through CR3 Lite. First, this will help to perform a reset glitch modification on fat consoles, so reset glitch version 2. It also helps to perform reset glitch modification on Corona version 1 16 MB NAND and Corona version 2 4 gig NANDs. Other changes that have been introduced when comparing to CoolRunner A, B and C revisions. So they have added 4 LK solder pads, which are located here. So LK1, LK2, LK3 and LK4 all comes open. LK4 has 3 solder pads, 1, 2 and 3. Now depends on your console type. You either need to have it open, or you need to show them or bridge the connections. Other changes that have been introduced, so there are two switch settings, S2 and S4. These have been added so that you can fine-tune the glitch timings on your console. You can change the switch settings and see which setting suits your console in order to obtain the best glitch timing for your console. So we'll be going through all these settings. Once we are in the testing phase, we'll be trying a few different settings in order to tweak the best glitch time for our console. These are the soldering items needed for the whole operation. Soldering iron 30 to 40 watt, preferably a reasonable soldering station is always handy. Solder, the ratio we have here is 60 by 40 and the diameter we use is 0.46 millimeter. Next, very important, we'll be using Wharton metals, high quality flux. When it comes to soldering CoolRunner, there are a couple of tricky connections. The best is to use the high quality flux so that the soldering process goes smooth. These are the few different forms it comes in. You can use gel flux like in a tube like this. You can use flux pen, or you can use flux bottle with liquid flux. So we highly recommend using Wharton metals gel flux. It's available in our online store. This is the flux that we use for all our reflow repair work as well. Next, once the soldering is complete, in order to clean up the residue, we'll be using isopropyl alcohol, some cotton balls and Q-tips. Scissors and electrical repair is needed to hold down the wires. We have a wide range of Team-Xecuter tools available. Simply go to gc-repairs.com. On your left you'll see a section XBOX360 Slim. Click on the plus sign, then click on Development Tools. Here we have Team-Xecuter Tools. Scroll down to the bottom. Here we have NAND-X version 3 code. All the NAND-X have been updated to V3 code. We also have NAND-X RJH edition, NAND-X to CoolRunner update cables. In order to update NAND-X, we also have CK3i, USB to NAND-X update cable, and finally we also have Xecuter CR3 Lite in stock as well. In order to open up your XBOX360, we have quite a few tools available. Simply scroll up, go to Repair Parts and Tools. The second product we have is XPro Toolkit version 4. This is the best toolkit in the market. It pretty much opens all the gaming consoles as well as major cell phones. We also have X-Tool. Here we have X-Tool set. Here we have XEM X8 case unlock kit for XBOX360 Slim consoles. You can either purchase XEM toolkit or X-Tool toolkit. They're pretty much the same. And finally we have Xecuter 360 case unlock kit version 3 as well. We have pretty much all the stuff available for soldering as well. So simply click on reflow reball equipment. Here we have very high quality European manufacturers Wharton metals soldering stuff. Gel flux, we have two sizes, 30 gram syringe and 10 gram syringe. Wharton metals solder, 0.46 millimeter, 60 by 40 ratio. Stencil cleaner, you can either use this or isopropyl alcohol, and we have flux pens as well. Alright, we'll be installing the NAND-X wires onto our motherboard. The connection sets we'll be working with are J2C1 and J2C3. Okay. Point number 1 is black wire. Point number 2 is brown. Point number 3 is red. Point number 4 orange. 5 nothing. And point number 6 is yellow. Over a J2C3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 is green wire. and number 6 is blue wire. Let's just flux these points first. And simply pre-tin the connections. Now simply solder the NAND-X wires. So we'll be using direct solder method. So the black one is here. Red is here. Brown wire over here. And the orange. And yellow. Blue one is here. And then comes the green one. So here's our whole NAND-X connection setup process in order to read the NAND. Okay, make sure you have a power supply and AV cable connected to your motherboard. Connect the NAND-X wires, and you need to connect this end to the other end of the PC. So simply plug it in. And next we'll be reading the NAND using the NANDPRO software. Now that we have all our connection setups done, we are ready to read NAND image from our motherboard. We'll be using NANDPRO software in order to read the NAND file. Step 1, simply go to Start, go to Run and type CMD. You'll be presented with this screen. We should be in the NANDPRO directory. So in order to go to the NANDPRO directory, simply change directory. Okay, and this is the command to read the NAND file. NANDPRO USB : read 16 nandum.bin. It's reading the NAND file. Takes a couple of minutes. Once the backup is complete, I'll be back. Okay, our first backup is almost there. Okay, our first NAND backup is done. I will be taking a few backups and we'll be comparing them, just to ensure that we have a clean NAND image. So let's just read it again. NANDPRO USB 16. Okay, our backup is complete. This is the command to check the integrity of your backups. So file comparison nandum.bin. So no differences encountered. That means we have a clean NAND image. Next we'll be soldering Xecuter CR3 Lite onto our motherboard. Just to quickly show you the contents of the CR3 Lite. You get a cable set for fat and slim wires, the adhesive pad, and your actual CR3 Lite chip. Okay, let's just go through the few things that have been introduced in the new version of CoolRunner. Okay, the changes are, there are 4 pads that have been introduced: LK1, LK2, LK3, LK4, and for every console either you have to bridge them or leave them as opened. And there are S2 and S for these two switch settings to tweak the glitch timings on your console. So LK1 here, LK2, LK3 and LK4 as recommended by Team-Xecuter. LK1 short, so we have to bridge it. LK2 short, we have to bridge it. LK3 open, so we'll leave it as it is. LK4 all open, and we'll leave LK4 all open as well. There's another setting, LK4, we can short pins 1 and 2. So this one and this one, we can short it, but these are just few of the tweaks that we'll be doing later on. First we'll just go with the default settings, and then later on we'll keep on playing around with few of the S2 and S4 dip switch settings just to get a decent glitch timing glitch for our console. Okay, let's install CoolRunner onto our board. Alright, we'll be soldering CoolRunner CR3 Lite onto our motherboard. Simply just place your adhesive pad and place it here. Make sure currently the switches are onto program and this switch is onto the slim side. Next, let's pre-tin our CoolRunner connections. So grab your flux and we'll pre-tin the CoolRunner connections. So 3.3 ground, B, C, D, E and F. Nothing on A. So make sure all this is on off. Next, let's place all our wires onto the CoolRunner. .3 volt, next comes the ground, then the orange wire, then comes yellow, then comes long blue CPU reset, then comes green, and finally the brown one. Okay, so let's solder these wires onto the board. So the first connection sets we'll be using J2C3. So this one is red, brown and the green wire here. So let's solder these three first, and the ground one goes onto the AV port. So let's solder all these. As always, flux it first. Let's solder the red one first. Then comes the brown, so solder the brown one. And the green one here. Next, let's solder the ground wire. So it goes onto the AV port, anywhere on the AV port. So let's just add a bit of solder onto this pin here, and we'll just solder the black ground wire here. Next, let's just move the yellow and the long CPU reset from over here, because they're going to be soldered onto the back of the motherboard. So simply route it through here, and we'll just deal this with these two wires in just a moment. So yellow and the blue. Let's solder the orange one. It goes onto here, R3B15. It's a bit of a tricky connection. So there we have R3B15 here. So we'll flux it, add a bit of solder here, and then solder our orange wire on here. And simply just touch it. That should be more than enough. Okay, that's done. Next, the yellow and the blue wire. So simply flip over your board. We'll deal with the yellow first. So that's where the yellow one goes. Over at this point near X clamp, it goes in here. This one. Flux it, pre-tin it. Pre-tin your yellow wire. Okay, that's done. Next is the long blue CPU reset. There are a few ways to do this one. It's recommended to loop it, coil it around. So you can either coil it around the X clamp or like this. Skip on right here, and it goes over here. The point is FT4R2. That's where it goes. So I'll just zoom in a moment. Or the other way is simply loop it around here. Okay, let's solder this onto FT4R2. So that's the point here. Flux it, pre-tin it. Pre-tin your wire. That should be more than enough. That's our CoolRunner CR3 Lite soldered onto the motherboard. Next, CR3 Lite has a few jumper settings and few switch settings. Let's go through all this. So S2 switch setting, initially we'll just have everything off. Same with the S4 switch, we'll have everything off. Jumper settings are LK1 short, so we'll be bridging LK1, which is here. So we'll bridge this connection, and we'll bridge LK2. LK3 is open. LK3 here, that's open, and LK4 initially we'll just try everything open. Let's just short LK1 and LK2. That's done. That's done. So here is all our connection setups. Connect your power supply cable, AV cable. We have connected NAND-X wires to NAND-X, and NAND-X is connected to CR3 Lite using NAND-X to CoolRunner update cable, and we have connected NAND-X to the PC USB port. Alright, once you have connected your USB cable to the PC USB port, it should all look like this. So power supply, AV, CoolRunner should be flashing red and green light. Because there's no timing file flash onto yet, we'll be using JRunner in order to do all that. Alright, now that we have our NAND-X wire soldered, our CR3 Lite soldered onto our motherboard, we are ready to program our NAND. In order to do that, we'll be using JRunner software. The version we are using is this, JRunner version 02. It's in beta state and the revision is 283. Okay, let's fire it up and we'll go through the whole JRunner process. Once fired up, you will be presented with this screen. Okay, so let's just go through the whole this process here. First, what we'll do, we'll read our NAND file. What JRunner will do, it will automatically, so what we'll do, we'll have two NAND. It will read twice now. So what will happen here, it will read the NAND files twice and then it will compare it just to ensure that we have a clean NAND image. Once we have a clean NAND image, we'll flash the CoolRunner with the timing file. Next, once we have our NAND backup ready, we'll create the ECC image and we'll just simply write that ECC image plus W16 onto our NAND, and we'll have our Xell that will help us get our CPU key and the DVD key. Well, in this case, only useful thing is CPU key. Once we have our CPU key, we'll create the Freeboot image, and finally we'll flash the Freeboot image and we have our RGH console ready. Okay, so that's the whole process for the RGH. So select your dash version, select glitch. Over here, number of NAND files 2, select your NAND type, we have Trinity. Okay, CoolRunner programming cable via USB. As you can see, JRunner has already detected NAND-X, so that's all good. So let's just start the process. So let's just read two NANDs and JRunner will automatically compare them and tell us if there's any issues. So let's just do this. Okay, flash config, it's determined and it's reading the NAND file. I'm going to pause the video. I'll be back once all this is all complete. So our first NAND backup is read, so JRunner is doing the second read. Okay, so JRunner has read two NAND files, NAND.win, and it tells you where it's saved actually. So that's the folder where it has saved both the NAND dumps and it's compared it, and all the NANDs are the same. Okay, that's fine. So our first step is done. Next step is flashing the CoolRunner with the timing file. So simply click on Flash CoolRunner and then select your motherboard, Trinity, and press OK. And you'll see once you're okay, so it has flashed the CoolRunner timing file. Now you'll see the CoolRunner CR3 Lite will only be showing the red light. There is no green light. Before adding the glitch image, these are the two switch settings. So make sure since we are doing this Trinity motherboard, so make sure this is on the slim side and this switch is on to the program side. Next step, creating the ECC image. So let's just click on create ECC, and okay, it's all complete. Once we have our ECC image done, next step is crucial. Make sure your CR3 Lite switch is onto the program side and the other switch is onto the slim side. So let's click on write ECC. All done. Our JRunner side is almost complete. Next few ways, we'll be connecting our motherboard and turning it on, and Xell will show the CPU key and the DVD key. Next, once we are done with the JRunner side, we'll be disconnecting all the cables here, and we'll be putting our motherboard back in the console, and we'll disconnect it to our TV and turn it on. Next, before turning on your console, make sure this switches on to the normal side so that the CoolRunner is operational. So over here we have connected our console. So if you're using a network cable, AV cable, make sure you use the AV cable. Xell does not work with the HDMI cable, and your power supply. Alright, this is our test phase for testing the glitch timings. We have S4 switch here, all connections, all switches off, and we have S2 here, all switches off. So let's just turn it on and see if it works. See if there is any. Okay, with these settings it doesn't even glitch. Moving on to the next one. Turn it off. So let's just change the setting to 1. So the S2 for switch, 1 on and 5 on. So let's just turn it on and see if it glitches. Okay, at least it's trying to glitch this time, and let's see if this setting, how long it takes. Alright, after about 15 minutes the console has finally booted. That means this is not the right settings. However, we have obtained the CPU key and DVD key. Next, let's just tweak these settings further so that we have a decent glitch timings. This is one of the other settings that has proven good for the Trinity motherboards. What we have done, we have bridged LK4 1 and 2, and S2 we have 1, 2 and 7 on, S4 6 on. So let's just try with this setting and see how we go. Alright, let's just examine how long it takes to get the Xell this time. Okay, literally 2 seconds. So that's the perfect setting for the Trinity. We have finally got our glitch timings to a decent time, and we got the Xell reloaded. So here's the JRunner side of the things. So that's the IP for our machine, and that's our CPU key. So simply copy that, place it here. So we got the CPU key. Next step is to create the Freeboot image. So our image is ready and it's sitting in there. Few options we can do. We can connect NAND-X and click on write NAND and it will write to our console, or simply we can go to our output folder, and here we have our update flash.bin as well. We can simply copy this and stick it into our console and it will flash the image. Okay, let's just do that. So we've got a USB stick connected. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this onto the USB stick and place it in the Xbox, and this will flash the Freeboot image. Saves us turning the machine off, on, doing all the setups. So I'm just going to insert this USB into our Xbox 360. Okay, I've just inserted the USB stick and it's going to flash the Freeboot image. All done. Next steps are take up the USB stick and power cycle your console. This and simply wait at least a minute and then turn it back on. Alright, let's connect our power supply again. Let's turn on our system. Here we go. Our console is reset glitched using Xecuter CR3 Lite. Alright, finalizing all the things over here. This is what JRunner does. So once you put in your CPU key in this folder, that's where all the files for your Xbox 360 are now. So that's the serial number of your console, that's your NAND backups, your Freeboot image, the ECC image, your KVInfo, CPU key. So save all these files and burn it onto a disk as well. And this concludes our reset glitch using Xecuter CR3 Lite on a Trinity motherboard. Before putting the console back together, what we have done here, we have desoldered our NAND-X wires from here, and we have desoldered that little wire that we were just testing out for the perfect glitch timings. So we have desoldered that and we have simply bridged 1 and 2 on LK4 pad. Before putting the console back together, since we already used no clean, no residue flux, it's best is to clean it up anyway. So grab some isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips, and wherever you use the flux, clean it up, and we'll be ready to put back our console. Once all clean, let's put the console back together.
Thanks for watching the videos. Please go to gc-repairs.com to purchase all the tools and accessories you need. Thank you.